needs to be fixed can be fixed.
Jackie Dean.
National is supporting the Tasman District Council validation and recovery of certain rates to Select Committee, and this bill will validate rates set by the Tasman District Council for the period between 2003-4 2008-9, during which the Council did not follow correct process in setting rates. Thank you.
Eugenie Sage.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker. Thank you. I'm pleased to take a short call on the Tasman District Council validation and recovery of certain rates bill. The Green Party will be supporting this bill, and I thank the Office of Honourable Damien O'Connor for the background information he provided. And certainly, Mr Speaker, one of the intriguing things about being an MP is the quite eclectic mix of local bills that we have to deal with and that are referred to the Local Government and Environment Select Committee. And I suspect that at the Select Committee we will learn quite a lot more about how Tasman District Council manages its stormwater, particularly at Tata Beach and Liger Bay, and how the Council's rating systems work. And certainly I had a bit of a look at the activity management plan for stormwater on the Council's website. And these two quite small settlements, they've grown up as a series of batches, and the batches were close to the beach, and then as they've built up, the batches and houses have expanded. Of course, you've got the national park nearby. You've got a lot of sort of self-contained pipes and stormwater systems, and there has been some observation of flooding issues at Tata Beach. So the Council, in endeavouring to address some of these issues and new subdivision development, and to provide the stormwater for future, or stormwater systems for future growth in the areas, has obviously spent money to do this, and the bill is a result of one ratepayer challenging the rates to fund that expenditure. And both Honourable Damien O'Connor and Honourable Annette King have explained some of the mistakes that the Council made in setting the rates, because the whole process of finalising an annual plan and a long-term plan involves a series of quite detailed resolutions. The Tasman District Council got it wrong because it set out that information in the annual plan resolution when it should have been in a separate resolution. And there were some issues too around the lack of maps for the Tata Beach urban drainage stormwater area. So it was the challenge by the ratepayer and the Ombudsman reviewing the way the rates were set that led the Council to realise that there were quite a number of procedural errors from 2003 onwards. And it was interesting to read an article in the Nelson Mail where the Council has apparently decided that it would be cheaper to have the matter dealt with by retrospective legislation in this House rather than to engage in sustained litigation with Mr Schmuck and others. But certainly it might be cheaper for the Council, but given the cost of parliamentary time, it may not be cheaper for this House. But, Mr Speaker, given that the wrong process was used, it is important that that is fixed and the setting of the rates is validated, which is why the Green Party will support it, even though it is retrospective. But I would point out, Mr Speaker, that this bill is in sharp contrast to the one we were debating here yesterday, the Environment Canterbury Bill, because while we now have national members supporting the validation of the rate-setting process, in Canterbury there is no ability for residents to elect councillors who will provide that representation for the taxation that rates represent, and have elected councillors making decisions about the level of rates and the priorities for spending those rates. So we have Canterbury residents generating $84 million in rates each year, but no elected councillors to represent them in decisions on how those rates should be spent. And, Mr Speaker, the Nikki Wagner's comments about better local government. When National introduced those savage attacks on local government, the removal of the 4 well-beings, the Minister Nick Smith used, or former Minister, used that cheap populist trick of attacking rates that council set and the level of rates. And yet, Mr Speaker, when you think about rates, if we're paying $6 a day on average, which is what people pay for the whole suite of services that councils provide, it's very good value for money. And I look forward in Select Committee to understanding and learning a bit more about the services that are being provided in Tara Beach and Ligo Bay in stormwater management and the rates that are being paid to deliver those. Thank you.
Aaron Gilmore.
Speaker, I stand to support this bill. I look forward to hearing